Hey friends, there's a story from Matthew 12, the Gospel of Matthew, that has been echoing through my mind the last couple of days. In it, Jesus is walking along with his friends, and it's the Sabbath, and his friends are hungry, and they begin to pluck grain to eat. And there are some religious authorities following along, and they come up to Jesus and they say that's not lawful for them to pluck that grain to eat. Later, they follow Jesus and his friends into the synagogue, and Jesus is about to heal someone, and they say, that's not lawful. But Jesus says, if you had a sheep that fell into the pit on the Sabbath, wouldn't you lift it out? And how much more valuable is a human being than a sheep? And then Jesus says it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Because for Jesus, mercy was always more important than rules. Always. And I just couldn't stop thinking about that this week. I certainly couldn't stop thinking about it when I stood outside a meatpacking plant in South Omaha on Tuesday. I was there with other clergy following the ICE raids that tore through our community, detaining more than 100 workers, taking them away in unmarked buses right there in the middle of the workday. And those folks, they weren't doing anything harmful. In fact, they were doing good. They were going to work, just trying to feed their families, feeding the people who would eat the products that they were working on. The pastor friend from South Omaha showed me a video of the raid, and I saw in his eyes all the pain of pastoring a church full of people who live in daily fear that someone they love might be taken away. Friends, as a pastor, I cannot imagine holding that kind of pain. But I can try, and I invite you to imagine it too. Imagine that you're in that situation where you don't know if your mom or your dad or your child or your husband or wife might come home from work because maybe they were detained, maybe they were rounded up with a group of people, maybe they didn't have the right papers with them, and they ended up in a bus somewhere with no due process, and you don't even know where they are. You don't know when they're going to come back. Imagine the fear. Imagine the despair. It's hard to believe that is what happened in our community this week, and it's something that we as people of faith have to stand up against. Jesus always chose love over legalism. He always chose compassion. He chose justice, and we're called to do the same. And so I invite you to learn about what's going on, to learn about our broken legal system, and to look at some of the resources in the caption here and see how you can help, see how you can stand alongside our South Omaha community, because Omaha is our community, and these are our neighbors and our brothers and sisters and siblings, and we need to stand in solidarity. Thank you.